Hello everybody, welcome to Facebook Live. This is at Prime Chiropractic. This is my office and I'm joined here with Laura McBride. And today we're going to talk about, hello guys, we're going to talk about the three ways that working moms can get more energy, especially around this time of year, the holiday season. It's typically where we see even more fatigue, more exhaustion on the part of moms. So Laura was gracious enough to join us, being a mom and running her own business and everything else that comes on top of it. She's been willing enough to join us and talk a little bit about some strategies that she uses to help her get over that fatigue and exhaustion. So first off, let's start off talking a little bit about you.
Okay.
All right, tell us a little bit about your background. What qualifies
Sure.
you to talk on working moms?
Well, I am a mom, first of all, and I have 5 teenagers right now. So I've been a mom for almost 20 years now. So I've been doing this for a little while, and I've been working full-time for a little over 8 years.
Okay.
So being a full-time mom and full-time employee or now business owner.
So you're busy.
I'm a little bit busy.
Okay, and I'm sure it hasn't been all just meadows and rainbows and good stuff.
No.
I'm sure there's been some bad moments in there as well.
No, it can be incredibly exhausting, and we can, I'm a doer,
Yeah.
so I can easily lose track of maybe the priorities that I have and get lost in all the things I feel like I need to do.
Okay, so through your experience, you've learned a couple insights on how to help moms like yourself be better with energy.
Yes.
So let's start off by talking about the first way. What is the number one way you can get more energy as a working mom?
Sure. Well, I think the first thing that came to my mind when you asked me that question was I thought back to when my kids were younger. Now I have all teenagers. They don't really need childcare anymore. But when they were younger, my kids, obviously couldn't stay alone. And if I was working all day and then coming home, I didn't always feel, I didn't have the energy necessarily to coordinate childcare. And then we're already spending money on childcare and school and whatever. It felt overwhelming to think I'm going to go hire a babysitter. Hopefully she's available when I'm available and I'm not, when the kids are home. And it just felt overwhelming. And so the thing that I found that was the easiest and best solution was to find a friend who had kids in the same age range as my kids, and we traded off. And I'm a firm believer that we need each other. We need our community, we need people in our lives to help. And so if I traded off with another mom who had young kids, she would watch my kids for a few hours. I could get things done if I needed to, or I could go work out, or just sit and rest, or read a book, or take a nap, for crying out loud. And I definitely needed those. And then, the next week or a few days later, I would swap and take her kids. And I really actually found that when my kids were playing together with other kids, it was easier for me to have them at home anyway.
Less work for you.
It was less work. So that turned out to be a great way that my girlfriends and I found to support each other in being moms, to help give each other a break, and just, develop that community for our kids as well.
Well, and I think that's a good point as well, is moms, I feel like there's some guilt that they're putting their kids off on someone else, but if you're trading off, I don't think that's a problem at all.
Yeah, there's not that guilt, there's not that, I don't want to ask her again. It's even, it's fair.
Okay,
So.
cool. Well, so that's number one.
Yeah.
Let's talk about number 2. What's your
Sure.
second tip for moms
Sure.
that are working?
Well, I think we can easily get caught up in just letting life run us, and we forget to be intentional with our time. And so I think it's super important to be forward thinking and proactive in scheduling out our lives, especially during the holiday season. So at the beginning of November, my husband Jason and I sat down with 2 templates of blank calendars for November and December, and we wrote down all our kids' events and programs and sporting events, and we wrote down all of the holiday parties we knew that were coming up, things we needed to attend, and then we blocked out times that we said nothing gets filled in here. There's nothing, it's a no. If we're asked to go out for dinner, if we're asked to do another service project, if we're asked, it's a no. These times are blocked, they're sacred, they are for rest and for our family.
I love that. And I think to build on top of that, I think it's important that you understand, and you're someone who knows this, is what are your values? What do you like to do? What's enjoyable to you? Because if you're spending more time doing that as a mom, that means more happiness for you.
Absolutely.
Less depression, less better self-esteem, just better all the way around. And especially this time of year, you're pulled in so many different directions. It seems tedious, but putting that outline together, that schedule, that breakdown, that's going to benefit you.
It's been a huge help.
Yeah. Okay, so those are the two. Now we've got a third one. What's the third one?
Yeah. Well, this one I'm going to get a little bit scientific, and I'm not a scientist, but you're the doctor. You can cooperate with what I'm saying. But there, as I've done research over the years, because I love a to-do list, and I wondered why that was, what it was about a to-do list that I love so much. And there's actually scientific evidence that shows when we cross things off our list, we actually get a dopamine rush that provides energy and motivation to keep going.
Not just the OCD in me.
No, it's like actually a thing. It's physical. And so what I found is when I'm in my head overwhelmed with so many things that need to happen, so many things that feel like too much, a lot of times if I just sit down and write it out, sometimes I find out a lot of those things aren't that big of a deal. And then if I'll just do the easiest thing first, and cross it off the list, I actually give myself a little dopamine rush.
A little momentum.
And then I can go, okay, next thing, do it, check it off. I try to block out, specific times so that I have an end point, so I don't just find myself all day long going, there's still things on the list. But if I block out some time and 30, 45 minutes, knock out as many of those simple things as I can, then the next day I can do the next things on the list. And I'm actually, giving myself that little rush, that little motivation. Then I'm feeling so accomplished at the end of the day because that I actually got things done instead of sitting around and worrying about all the things that I needed to get done.
Right. I needed you before I opened up this office because I had a checklist of a million things, and I feel like, you get inundated with everything to do, and it demoralizes you.
It does.
You lose all the motivation.
It's exhausting.
Nothing. You don't want to do anything at all.
This is way more, it's a much more energizing way to get things done.
So let me ask you this, something I've just been thinking about as you're talking, but when it comes to moms, what do you think causes moms to just constantly be putting more and more on top of their plate? Well, what is that?
I think culturally, we are a very independent culture. In a lot of cultures in the world, people have help in their home every day, and that's just not how we function, so we think we have to do it all ourselves. And then truly in the area we live in, this part of the world, we are very affluent. We have a lot, and we see all the opportunities for our kids, and we want them to experience things, and so we say yes to way too many things, and we just get them busier and busier, and when they're busy, we're busy.
Right.
We have to take them to do what they're doing. And so that was, at least for me, what a lot of my struggle was seeing, well, look at what all these other kids are doing. My kids need those experiences too. And what I found was if I said no to more of it and kept my kids home to play, as they got bored, they got more creative. And I think that we really stunt our kids' opportunities to be more creative by keeping them so busy all the time.
More so now than ever.
And ourselves too, right? Like
Agreed.
we don't have time to be creative anymore either. We're too busy.
Yeah, and when we're not busy, we've got a screen in front of our face.
Well, true.
Yeah, I mean, it's always going. It's a great point. The creativity is sapped when we're constantly just inundated with all this information. Okay, so we covered the three ones, but we got a special bonus tip for everybody, right? What's the bonus tip?
Well, this is just something that's important to my heart and soul at this time of year, and I'm going to go back to the dopamine rush. When we act generously toward other people, we get the same kind of rush as when we check something off our to-do list. Right. It is good for our bodies, and so I just think this is a great time of year to really focus on being generous, to find ways to energize ourselves by giving back. So whether that's maybe you leave an extra large tip for somebody at a restaurant when you go out to eat. Maybe you, as you're making baked goods for your, a party that you're going to, you create an extra plate and take it to a neighbor and just encourage them and tell them you're thinking about them during the season. Or
you could donate to our family that we adopted.
Exactly. Donate to to this family that Prime Chiropractic has adopted for the season, and I'm definitely going to be doing that. I'm excited that you guys are doing that. I'm excited to be a part of it.
Well, good. So, all this stuff has been awesome information, and I'm sure that there's some over there wondering, well, more about you. What is exactly you do, and how can people get a hold of you?
Sure, thanks. Well, I started a business in August of last year. We're about 16 months old. It's called Netting Time, and we provide personal concierge services. So we're like a personal assistant for hire, and we help relieve people and help them find freedom by taking care of their to-do list. It's what I love, and I found my passion, and now I'm doing it full time. And we just help take care of people's to-do list so they can focus on the things that they most enjoy or that are most important in their families, in their personal lives, and in their businesses.
And growing very quickly.
Yes.
And so for those of you guys that are interested, maybe you're a working mom, you're tired of dealing with all these tasks that you want someone to take them off your plate. Laura's your girl. Netting Time is the name of the company. I'm going to put a link down below in the comments so you guys can reach out to her if you'd like to. And I hope you guys found this conversation valuable. I know I did. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you for watching.
Thanks, everyone.